years ago, Lord Krishna spoke Bhagavad Gita in Kurukshetra. We are in Punjab and Kurukshetra is very near, and Krishna spoke Bhagavad Gita there to Arjuna. Now, we all celebrate Gita Jayanti all around the world, especially Hare Krishna movement, Iskcon, which is popularly known as. Other Sampradayas, Vaishnav Sampradayas, they also celebrate Gita Jayanti. What is so special in Bhagavad Gita? That's very important. Because you see, in all traditions, in all traditional Gurukul, the first book what is taught is Bhagavad Gita, before even Vedas and Upanishads. Why? Because Bhagavad Gita is supposed to be the essence of all scriptures. It is said by Shankaracharya, Sarva Upanishad Gavo Dogda Gopal Nandana Partho Vatsa Sudhir Bhokta Dugdam Amritam Mahat. That if you take all the Upanishads, Upanishad means they are the part of Vedas. If you take all the Upanishads and make them a cow, then the essence of all those Upanishads is Bhagavad Gita. And that is why, by the way, Gita is called Gita Upanishad. Gita, there are so many verses in Bhagavad Gita which are directly taken from Upanishads. And Gita is a book which has at least 19 names. There is no book on this planet Earth which has so many names. For example, Gita is called as Ganga, Gita is called as Tribhuvana Pavani, Gita is called as what's that? Samshaya Nashini, and then there are so many 19 names of that Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita is also important because Bhagavad Gita has many new concepts which are not even found in Upanishads, at least explicitly. For example, the concept of avatar, God taking incarnation on this material world, that is quite a unique concept in Bhagavad Gita. In Upanishads you will not find it, at least explicitly. The concept of Maya, illusory energy of Lord, that's also not so explicit in Upanishads, but it is very clear in Bhagavad Gita. Then the concept of grace and mercy, that's also not so explicit in Upanishads and Vedas, but it's very clear in Bhagavad Gita. Krishna says, Rag doesha vimukta istu vishayendriya charan atma vashair vedhyatma prasadam adhigacchati. Mercy, only through mercy we can attain God. It's not through our personal efforts only. So all these concepts are there in Bhagavad Gita which are very developed and clearly explained, and that is why Gita is supposed to be a natural commentary on Upanishads. If you find anything difficult to understand in Upanishads, it is said consult Bhagavad Gita. So, and also Bhagavad Gita is simple to read. There are just 700 verses, 18 chapters in Bhagavad Gita. You can easily read the Sanskrit language. As far as linguistically talking, Bhagavad Gita Sanskrit is very easy to understand. Sanskrit of Upanishads and Vedas is beyond the reach of common man. It's very difficult to understand, but Bhagavad Gita, any child can understand that language, but yet the import of those verses are very deep. It is said by Madhvacharya that every verse of Bhagavad Gita has at least 1,000 levels of interpretation, 1,000 levels of meaning, and at least 8 are known in human society. 8 levels of meaning of every verse of Bhagavad Gita. For example, there is a level of meaning Adi Bhautik, Adi Daivik, Adhyatmik, Adi Yagik, meaning of every verse of Bhagavad Gita, and then there are other levels of meaning. So what I want to put across is Bhagavad Gita's message is very profound and deep. Every scholar in the history, whether Indian or Western, they have always admired Bhagavad Gita for its deep philosophical concepts and imports which Bhagavad Gita is trying to give to humanity. And also another unique thing in Bhagavad Gita is it is very comprehensive. all subjects are covered in Bhagavad Gita. Whether you take Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Dhyan Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, you take Dharma, all concepts are summarized, are dealt in, not in so much details, but at least they are mentioned, and an overview of all the subjects is given in Bhagavad Gita. So Bhagavad Gita is a very comprehensive book. You can find all topics, and you can find everything about that topic, not maybe in details, but in point wise, to the point you will find it. So Bhagavad Gita is like an encyclopedia, let me put it like that. It's a comprehensive encyclopedia. You can put it like that. So Bhagavad Gita is, so that's why we celebrate this Gita Jayanti, and on this day, especially in this month altogether, devotees all around the world, they distribute so many copies of Bhagavad Gita. If anybody reads Bhagavad Gita once, all his doubts will be cleared, all illusions are vanquished, and all attachments are severed, and the person becomes pure. And that's what it is said. Lord Shiva says to Parvati in one of our Vaishnava Tantra, he says, anybody who takes bath in the Ganges of Bhagavad Gita, his intellect becomes pure. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita itself, so right at the end of his talk in Bhagavad Gita, he says, anybody who reads Bhagavad Gita, he worships me through intelligence. So thank you very much to all of you for being with me on this day, and I request everyone to distribute Bhagavad Gita in this month. This month is called as Gita Marathon, in the memory of Bhagavad Gita, which is spoken 5,000 years back. We distribute this knowledge. This knowledge is eternal. It's called Sanatan Dharma. This Gita, don't think Gita's knowledge is applicable 5,000 years back only to Arjuna at that point of time, place and circumstance. It's not like that. It is eternal knowledge, applicable at any time, any place, any circumstance. Why? Because this knowledge is dealing with human life. This knowledge is dealing with human mind, and human mind is same from 5,000 years back until till now. Human mind is same. It's dealing with problems in the life of humanity, and the problems are same. The nature of problem might change, but the problems are same. Everybody feels anxiety, stressed, even back then and now, but the modality of giving stress is different. Everybody feels stress and frustration and sorrows and sensuality. So how to get over these negative emotions in our heart, how to understand God, how to make a connection with Him, how to love Him. It was equally applicable 5,000 years back and equally applicable now in this world of technology. That doesn't matter. 5,000 years back we were eating food, and still we are eating food, isn't it? 5,000 years back we were doing sex, still we are doing sex, nothing changed. So people are same, problems are same, but the solution is in Bhagavad Gita. Please read Bhagavad Gita. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. So, yeah.
How to maintain enthusiasm that till death we read Bhagavad Gita?
How to maintain enthusiasm that till death we read Bhagavad Gita? Well, I think to maintain enthusiasm in any subject is to dive into it, isn't it? How to maintain enthusiasm that we see the movie right till the end? Well, if the movie is interesting, you will see it till the end. If the movie is boring, we'll stop it. Once we start reading Bhagavad Gita, we'll find it very interesting. It's not just reading, it's reading with devotees, and it's understanding it. Once you start understanding it, it will be so interesting. You will not feel like leaving it. And especially, more than that, if we apply Bhagavad Gita in our life, we'll feel enthusiastic. It's not an academic knowledge, it's not maths, chemistry, biophysics. It is a life manual. If you apply it, you will feel the benefits, and then you will remain enthusiastic till the end of your life. That's all. It's all application. And also we have to associate with devotees who are applying this knowledge in their life, and we'll be enthusiastic to read Bhagavad Gita till the end of our life. That's the point there. Okay, that's it. Some other question you were asking, no? Something you were mentioning. Oh yeah, actually I got that question. You were asking that that senior devotees, they don't read Bhagavad Gita. It's like that. Bhagavad Gita is, Prabhupada said, Bhagavad Gita is undergraduation, and Bhagavatam is what's post-graduation, and Chaitanya Charitamrita is super specialization. So when devotees become senior, they leave reading Bhagavad Gita. In fact, in many temples we don't have Bhagavad Gita class, by the way. Morning is Bhagavatam. Evening it's supposed to be Bhagavad Gita class. Either many temples don't have it, or even if they have it, there's nobody sitting around in that class, because it's for babies. Devotees think it's for babies, Bhagavad Gita. I went to a group of non-Iskcon devotees, Krishna devotees, and I asked them, okay, are you reading Bhagavad Gita? They said, well, we have gone far beyond Bhagavad Gita. Now we are in ecstasy of Radha Krishna and something like that. So are seniors supposed to read Bhagavad Gita? Well, you can read Bhagavad Gita for millions of lives and still will not be able to understand it completely. That's Bhagavad Gita. They are the words of God. Words of God are not different from God. We should remember it. And it's foolish to say that when we become senior we don't need to read Bhagavad Gita, or it's boring. More interesting is Bhagavatam. It has pastimes. Srila Prabhupada said that just as Ras Leela of Krishna is so interesting, similarly Krishna's fighting in Kurukshetra and his Bhagavad Gita is interesting to the same extent. There is no difference between it, and that's called love, by the way. When you love somebody, you like everything about him. You like his embrace, you like his laughter, you like his scolding sometimes. So you like everything about him. You like his words, his or her words, everything, because you love them. Similarly, because we love Krishna, and we are supposed to love him, by the way, we like everything about him. So Bhagavatam and Gita will be equally relishable if person is truly doing devotion. But if the devotion is false, then we'll feel Bhagavad Gita is higher. Srila Prabhupada said Bhagavad Gita is undergraduation and Bhagavatam is post-graduation. That's not because Gita is less interesting and Bhagavatam is more interesting. That's not the point. The point is, Gita is not going in details in all the points. Srimad Bhagavatam is going in details. Gita is simply touching on all the points, all devotional points, but not explaining it. Bhagavatam explaining those points with philosophy and with examples. And that is why Bhagavatam is post-graduation. And of course, Bhagavatam also develops the theme of Bhagavad Gita. Ends in Sharanagati. Bhagavatam takes Sharanagati to the level of love of God. But that doesn't mean Gita doesn't have the concept of love of God. There is love of God in the verses of Bhagavad Gita. In fact, one of the Acharya, Purushottam Acharya in Vallabhapradaya, he interprets each and every verse of Bhagavad Gita as having love of God, and also showing that every verse of Bhagavad Gita has Radha Krishna in it. So Bhagavad Gita unfolds itself as we read it. And we should not say that it's for babies, it's for new devotees. No, that's a wrong, very, very wrong notion, and it can hamper our devotional life. That's the point there. Okay, so thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Gita Jayanti ki Jai.